people in the comments talking trash, family members making comments like, oh my god, you're using profanity, or people like reporting back to my dad or reporting back to my mom, like people that know them that watch my videos, people just being weirdos, strangers watching me, always having something to say. I am no longer like letting stuff like that affect me, because whether I'm successful or not successful, those miserable people are still gonna be miserable people at the end of the day. I can either be successful and they're miserable, or I can be not successful and they're still miserable. So if they want to spew hate and be mad, that's fine, but I'm gonna live my best life while they're doing it, period. Hey y'all, welcome back to another chit chat. I am so excited to be doing today's video because it is kind of like a fusion of a foundation review and a little chit chat, cat chat, girl chat type of situation. So today I am going to be trying out, demoing the new Morphe Filter Effects Soft Focus Foundation. This is, well, I don't know if it's like technically in collaboration with Makeup Shayla, but she's definitely the face of this foundation. So congrats to Shay Shay. And I am super excited to try this because it has some ingredients in it that are ingredients that I love. So it has like hyaluronic acid, which is a skin smoothing moisture booster, vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant, and glycerin, which is a hydrator for a healthy looking glow. This is supposed to be a long wearing, oil free, natural finish foundation that hydrates the skin, and it's supposed to blur imperfections for the ultimate, honey, ultimate soft focus look. I did pick up 3 shades. I didn't want to get 3 because I'm really on a budget right now, but I figured that I would rather go ahead and like spend more of my money and share the shades with you all versus you guys like having to buy the shades and experiment and all that stuff. I did swatch all 3 in a picture just on the back of my hand. My hand is slightly lighter than my face, so while 25 looks like it'll work because it looks spot on with my hand, 26 actually ended up being the best for me. And then I also have 27. Now they do all have different undertones as well. I think 25 is a pink undertone, so it did look a little ashy on me when I just kind of like rubbed it in on my face. 26 is a golden undertone, which to me had a little bit of red. Like I could see a little red, so I was so confused about that. And then 27 I think is neutral, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to be putting on 26 in today's video. Oh yeah, also you guys, if you go to Ulta, I don't know if you can get this alone for free, but you can get a little like a little sample sheet, and so it has 5 shades, one of them being the 26 that I'm going to be applying today. And then they did throw in this brush for free as well, so I'll be using this to put on the foundation. Before I get started, I am going to go ahead and put on this Premium Jane CBD Rejuvenation Cream. I used this in my last vlog. They sponsored that video, but I actually do use this on a daily basis before my makeup as a primer, or I'll use it as a part of like my skincare routine in the morning if I'm not wearing makeup, or sometimes at night too, like before bed. It's gonna give my skin like an extra boost of hydration. I have been a little dry lately. I'm gonna go ahead and just apply this to the back of my hand to get it warmed up. This is what the bottle looks like, a really pretty frosted glass, black plastic top. Very simple. I like it. So it is a little thick coming out the bottle, but once it warms up on the back of the hand, like it's a really nice consistency. The first question is how you get the motivation back to do everything you need to. So I am a big non-believer of like doing things to get motivated, and that may sound super crazy, but the reason that I say that is because for me, motivation comes in spurts. I wake up some days and I'm just not motivated, but I'll think about what my goals are or what it is that I have to do, or like what I'm trying to accomplish, and then that doesn't necessarily motivate me, but it does kind of like get the gears going, because I'm like, okay girl, you're not motivated, but you are dedicated to achieving these goals and you are dedicated to getting these things done. Like think about it right now. You may be having an off day where you don't want to do anything. It's rainy, it's gloomy. Do I want to be filming right now? No, not necessarily. But I know I need to film this video because I'm trying to hit the goal of posting every Sunday and being more consistent so that my channel grows and ultimately I can live my best life as like a social media influencer. Even when I'm not feeling like doing something, I always have to put into perspective, like, well, what's the reason it's on my to-do list to begin with? Like, you get what I mean? So it's like, even if you're not motivated, you have to be dedicated to whatever it is that you are trying to achieve. It is so important to just always be thinking about what the end goal is and keeping that like in the front of your brain, because I promise you, at that point, the motivation, whether you have it or not, is not going to matter, because you're going to be so dedicated to achieving your goals that you're going to just get up and do it anyway. Next up, someone wanted to know what my favorite perfumes are. So I do want to do like a perfume collection video. Now that I'm on like a uploading every Sunday schedule, things are not going to be as immediate. So I can say, hey y'all, I'm gonna do a perfume collection, but I don't know when I can promise it, since I'm not uploading as like once a week. To me is pretty frequent for someone like me, but like it means that my uploads are way more spaced out. So I can't say, oh yeah, you'll get the perfume collection next week. Like, I don't know, it may not be until later in February, or it may not be until March, but it's definitely something that I want to like post here on my channel. But for right now, my favorite perfume is the Valentino Born in Roma. That is, I feel like, my forever favorite. I really used to love like warm and sweet scents, and then as I started to get a little bit more, just a little bit older and wanted like more sophisticated smells, I now like warm florals. And for me, that's like the best of both worlds. It's like warm and sweet and soft and playful, but the florals brings it like this sexy, like sensual edge. And Born in Roma, literally you only need like 1 or 2 little sprays. It's so potent. It smells amazing. It's in a beautiful packaging. I would grab it, but whatever. It's an amazing fragrance, and I suggest that you get you some because it's really good. Stopping real quick to talk about this foundation. You guys see what I mean? Like, this foundation set, it had like a golden undertone, but to me it's looking like a bit red just compared to my neck. And like I said, if I went to shade 25, it'll make me look casket ready. And then 27 was just like a little bit darker than this. And so for me, it's not like an exact match, but maybe if I mixed like 25 and 26, then it will give me, okay computer, but maybe if I do like a pump of 25 mixed in just to like lighten it up just a little bit, maybe that'll give me like a good match. I just feel like I'm just one of those people who's never gonna have like a perfect match in a foundation. I'm just a person who's gonna have to mix shades, and you know, I've accepted that fate and I am okay with it. Now, as far as this coverage, I can still see my scars peeking through, obviously, even using a brush. I didn't put that thick of a layer on. The next question is from my sis Taylor. Hey girl, she said, how do you get decor inspiration? Do you use Pinterest? So yes, I use Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I used to actually hate Pinterest, but I started using it a whole lot probably like this time last year, and it just kind of helped me like get all of my ideas together as far as decor, style, recipes. I mean, you know, you name it, you can find it on Pinterest. I also get it from Instagram as well. So what I'll do, if there's like a furniture store that I like, for example, like let's just say IKEA because it's widely known. What I'll do is I'll go on IKEA's Instagram and then I'll click on like the little tagged section where people have like style IKEA stuff, and then I'll scroll through there, and that's a great way to find like regular people, interior designers, other like company like furniture brands, and to just like get picture inspiration. And it's a little bit easier, and I feel you get like way more than you get on Pinterest. So yeah, Pinterest is like my #1, but Instagram definitely be coming through too with the inspo. As you guys can see, I feel like this is just like a smidge off. Adding that 25 really didn't do too much, but I'm telling y'all, if I would have did 25 alone, I would have just looked like I was ready to be at somebody's funeral home. I think I need to mix in more of the 25 next time, a little less of the 26, but it's not like terribly bad. So the next question I have is how to tap more into your femininity and sexual side. So for me, it really starts with your mindset. Like a lot of people are commenting that they see like a shift in my behavior since I got proposed to. But no, honey, the shift came way before that, okay? I started getting my life together before Zarius proposed to me. He proposed Christmas Eve. He had given me, though, a promise ring around October. So a lot of people thought the promise ring that he gave me was an engagement ring. And I really don't share too much of my personal life, so I didn't feel the need to clear it up. I'm like, whatever, if y'all want to take that and run with it, fine, I don't care. But I wasn't answering the question one way or another. So like people just assume that, and so I just let people assume. Like people want to assume the worst. Like people always assume the worst, like out of influencers. So when the masses are assuming the best for me, then hey, run with it. But no, honey, the shift for me like started way before then, because I realized that I could get more and go a little bit further, not only within my relationship, but just in life in general, being softer, being more feminine, embracing my feminine side. I like control. I like to be in control. I have a hard time letting go and relinquishing control. I like things a certain way and I can be very bossy and demanding. Within my relationship with a man, obviously in my world, in my head, I'm alpha, period, okay? But when you're in a relationship, like depending on what type of partner you have to learn how to play your position. And there are honestly times where I would sit back and I would just be tired of being in control. And so I'm like, okay, girl, well, you can't pick and choose, like you're going to be controlling everything, but then when it comes to this, like you just want to be like, whatever, you do it, because that kind of confuses your partner. And so for me, I just kind of had this epiphany where I was like, okay, Kathryn, you want your man to lead. You want him to be the one who handles things and takes care of business. And not necessarily that I'm going to completely take my hands off of things, but I just want him to be the leader of the household and the leader in the like relationship. And this is even before we moved in together and before we got engaged and all that stuff. And so I realized that in order to do that, I was going to have to take on a more submissive role. And I feel like that term kind of sounds like a bad thing, but definitely I don't mean submissive in like a way where I just let him just run all over me and he says jump and I say how high. Like, no, not like that. But like, okay, for example, if I tell him, Zarius, I need you to take out the trash. Oh, Kathryn, after I told him one time, because my patience is very thin, told him one time, maybe two, and he didn't do it, I would get it and I would go take the trash out myself and just get it done, and then I would come back and be mad or like have an attitude about it. But now, if you don't do it, I just let it sit there. I'm like, well, I'm not touching it. That's beneath me. That's your job. You do it. And in doing that and kind of just stepping down from just trying to like always take the reins and have the control and just trying to get things done, it has like naturally made him step up. So I've stepped down and more into this role of being more feminine and just kind of like toning it down so that he could naturally begin to step up. And it's been working beautifully for me. And it's also made me began to like learn to love and appreciate myself more and do things for myself more. Just a whole new mindset that I'm in. Like there's so much that goes into it, and I can make like a whole video about it, just kind of talking about it and the things that I've done and changed. But it's just like so many parts to it, with how I want to be with my relationship, with how I want my relationship with myself to be. Because I told you guys in my vlog, like if you treat yourself a certain way and you have certain expectations of yourself, then the people around you will have no choice but to fall in line. Because if I'm not accepting anything but the best of myself, why would I take anything less from anybody else when I don't necessarily have to be around those people, you know? So that could go for friendships, partnerships, family memberships, whatever, you know what I mean? So it's just so many like moving parts to it. But just the way that I started to embrace it was that I just wanted my life to change in that type of way where I wasn't always in control, because it's tiring. It gets to be too much, you know, because if you are trying to do everything and handle everything, then, or if I'm trying to do everything and handle everything, it takes away from what I do for myself. And so if I'm always worried about getting things done around the house, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, trying to take on his role and my role, and then that means for me, I end up lacking in some areas. So I'm not getting my nails done, I'm not getting my toes done, I'm not getting pampered, I'm not taking myself out and enjoying myself, and because I'm just too tired and I just don't have the energy. So I want my energy to be on, of course, making my house a home and taking care of myself and taking care of my family and my man and all of that. But I also want a good amount of my energy to just really go on taking care of myself. And if that sounds selfish, or if people like get offended by that, then so be it. But that's just how I want things to be. The next question is small wedding or big wedding, LOL. Girl, you know you being funny because you put LOL at the end. You know, girl, I want a small wedding. Big wedding, me? Who? What? No. Like, no, ma'am. I do not want no like VH1 special vibes. That's not me. I want people there that I actually know. You know, people that have been instrumental in me becoming who I am in this life, and people who have been instrumental in, you know, my partner becoming who he is. But beyond that, I don't want no extra. I don't want people I don't know. If I don't know you, like, why are you at my wedding? The next question is, how did you prepare yourself to become a future wife, like mindset wise? And so that kind of goes back to what I was saying about, like, I feel like people are thinking that like there's been this like change in me, because when I started back posting to YouTube, I started with that like that vision board video, and then my most recent vlog from last Sunday. You guys can kind of see a shift, and it seems that it came after getting the ring, but no, it happened way before that. I just was not really posting on social media like that because I was doing a lot of like inside work on myself, and I wanted to get to a certain space before I came back on social media, because I just want like what I'm living to be really like demonstrated through what I create on my channel. And so I feel like people think that, oh, she just recently got to this place because now she has to start acting a certain way because she's going to be a wife. Like, no, I'm gonna act how I'm gonna act, period. Like, if I want to act like a hot ratchet mess and be somebody's wife, then I'm gonna do that. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to let becoming somebody's wife like dictate like how I act. I mean, obviously you do have to move differently. I'm not saying that like I have to move differently now, but at the same time, I'm not going to let it change me at the core of my being, like who I am. If a marriage does that to you, or a partnership with somebody does that to you, you're not with the right person. Like, I'm changing because I want to, because it's a positive thing in my life for me, and it just so happens to be, I guess, along the lines of people, of how people like perceive a wife should act. But no, I'm glowing up and leveling up for me. As far as like getting a mindset to become a wife, I mean, I wasn't really out here doing anything too crazy anyway. I mean, there are some things like some of my guy friends I have unfortunately had to like pull back from and like cut off. I mean, even being in a relationship and then having like guy friends, it's definitely something that has been like an issue. But at the end of the day, I would always be like, well, technically I'm single and I'm grown, so, you know. But now that we are like engaged to be married, I did have to kind of like really pull back from that. And I was reading somewhere, this girl was saying like she doesn't have any like female friends, she only has guy friends, which I used to be able to relate to that, but now I found that it's better having like a good balance of both, because you need both. But somebody in the comments was saying like, girl, there's no such thing as male friends or guy friends, because they're always going to be waiting on that moment where they can like slide in and get with you. And while I thought that was kind of harsh to say, I honestly also felt that it was true, because also a lot of my guy friends that I have had in the past have come on to me in that way, in which, you know, Zarius will always tell me that like they only want male friends, they only want one thing, there's no such thing. And I'd be like, man, shut up, you just being a hater. But like several of my guy friends have done that, where they have ended up like revealing their feelings for me or making comments or doing certain things. I'm just like, ooh, okay. But I've also had female friends do that too. So maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But no, seriously, like that's really the only thing that I feel I have really had to change. And also, oh yeah, another thing. So when I used to like live alone and I lived in the city, I would be out like walking my dog, or I would go out and run to the store or something and not really have any issues. I mean, and that's really all due to the grace of God and the protection of his angels on my life. Like, I do not want to be naive, okay? I'm not naive here. Crime can happen anywhere, city, suburbs, in Beverly Hills. I mean, come on now. But what I'm saying is that I really was just moving like I wasn't afraid, and I would go out a lot by myself. I would do things. If at night I wanted some gummy bears, I would get up, leave my apartment, run to Walgreens, get them, come back home, and not think twice about it. Of course, I would be out, I would watch my back, I would be aware, but I would just move when I wanted to move. But it was funny because like literally about 2 weeks ago or so, I wanted to like go to Kroger and like get something. I think I want some ice cream or something, which I didn't even need because that's when I was still doing keto. By the way, I'm not keto anymore, hello. So I told James, I was like, hey, I'm finna go. Well, I didn't say hey, I was like, I'm finna go to the store and get some ice cream or something back. And he was like, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he said sit your bleep down. I'm pretty sure he told me sit your ass down. And I was like, huh? What? You ain't the boss of me. Like, that's the type of energy that I would have, that I wanted to be on, that old me would have popped off. I was just like, I said, I can't go. And he was like, no, you can't go by yourself. And he didn't feel like going. So if he couldn't go with me because he didn't feel like going, then that meant that I wasn't going at all. And so I went, and then I sat down, and I was just thinking like, dang, I really want that ice cream, you know. But that alone just kind of showed me in that moment like, okay, so I gotta move a little bit differently in this way too, because this man is not gonna just be letting me like run around and just do things when I want to do them. Because obviously for me going out at night as a woman, it's not the safest thing in the world, and he's not gonna just have me out here going out at night without him. And so I'm just like, okay. So I had to change like that in a way. And not that I had to get permission to go anywhere, because if I wanted to get in my car and leave, I definitely could have. But it came down to more of like a respect thing. I'm respecting what he's telling me, because obviously he doesn't want anything to happen to me or any harm to come my way, and me being out like by myself like that. Next up, it says, when you know you are ready to start buying a house. Girl, that's, to me, see, that's similar to the motivation thing. I cannot tell you when you are going to be ready to buy a house. You have to know when you are ready to buy a house. For me, I wasn't even necessarily ready to buy a house like when we began house hunting. I mean, obviously if you're house hunting, you have some intentions of getting a home. But for me, I could have kept apartment living. The whole house hunting thing was really like spearheaded by Zarius. He was the one who got like the loan from the bank. Basically all that I did was go with the realtor to look at the houses, because Zarius was at work, he couldn't go, and I would have to be the one. I was taking videos and I would come back and watch it, and I would be the person to say, you're gonna put in a bid, you're gonna put in an offer on this, or no, you're not gonna put in an offer on this, because he was technically the one putting in the offer. So it was his doing, and I just kind of was like going with the flow. So let's see. Next steps on your lash brand. Pretty much, I'm just waiting on my vendor. They ruined my order because I was planning to launch for Valentine's Day. I had everything set up. The emails were going to go out, and they ended up leaving off over half of my lash boxes. And so now I have to wait for them to send these boxes. The only thing is that they are now on like the Chinese New Year holiday festival. So they won't be back until later this month. And so things are getting pushed back a little bit, but I'm not gonna let it get to me, because this is something I've been working on for so long. And if I have to wait like another like 4 to 6 weeks to launch, it's fine by me, because I want everything to be perfect. Let's see. So colorism in the beauty community and society. So I'm not going to get into this topic too much because we would be here all day and I really want to get through some more of these questions. But I've definitely experienced colorism in my own right. I have talked about it before on my channel, but my view on it was quickly diminished by my viewers because a handful of you all felt like since I wasn't like really dark skinned that my experiences weren't as painful or as valid as like influencers who are darker than me. But I definitely have experienced colorism in several ways. But the first time that I actually ever took notice of it was actually pointed out to me by another influencer. We went to Portland and she was asking me about a sponsorship I had recently did with a company. It's a pretty big company. I mean, they're in Walmart, Walgreens, Target, all that. And she said, if you don't mind me asking how much you got paid. And I was like, oh girl, I got paid $600. Now this was around the time I had like 100,000 subscribers, and I thought that was like a good sponsorship rate because I just didn't know any better. And at the time my channel was doing really well. I mean, I was getting more views then than I get now. So I thought that was great. And she said, for real? She was like, well, I'm gonna tell you this, like between you and me, like this other influencer who happened to be like a white gay male, and he wasn't even that popular. It wasn't even like a Jeffree Star or James Charles, okay? She was like, he got paid $6 grand. Y'all, like it literally felt like somebody had dropped a piano on my head. I was like, $6 grand versus my $600. I had like, I don't even think he had nowhere near 100,000 subscribers. I think he had like maybe 30,000 or so. And it was just wild to me. Wild. And so that same brand ended up hitting me up some months later. And then when my price increased, I didn't even tell them nowhere near $6 grand. Okay, nowhere near it. But I did increase my price from $600. They told me that they could not, I don't know how they worded it, but they couldn't satisfy the rate that I was giving them. And so I was trying to come back and negotiate, and they were saying like, oh, it's okay, like we're moving on, basically. Like, didn't even want to give me a second thought or another chance. And so it's just crazy. Like, and I don't know, maybe they ran out of money and couldn't pay me nothing because they had paid that dude all their money and they get a return. I don't know. But either way, the situation was jacked up. I don't know if I want to even add gloss to this lip because I kind of like it, but I'm gonna add a little gloss. Like, I feel like this looked better before the gloss. Don't y'all agree? So let me add like a little bit of eyeliner to my waterline and then we'll pretty much be done. Okay, so the next question is, did you two decide on a date for the wedding yet? No, because of just like the climate of the world right now, it's kind of difficult to like plan anything. I haven't even thought twice about a ceremony, about planning it or anything, because every time that I did, even before we got engaged and we would be talking about it and I'd be thinking about it, I would immediately get stressed out, or I'll be talking to some people and they would be trying to live through me and plan for me, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Y'all keep effing with me. I won't have one at all. We'll go to Vegas for all I care. If people are going to like kind of take over and control like what I'm doing, then I just won't do it at all. I have made up in my mind, like, I am not going to be living my life to make other people happy. And when I decided that, it didn't even have anything to do with like wedding planning. I just made that decision about 2 months ago after I was looking at my channel and my social media and just trying to see like where I went wrong. And mostly I went wrong with just like a lack of consistency. And with that being said, what caused the lack of consistency was, 1, being lazy, 2, being tired from like school and just life and then not wanting to put into my channel. But then 3, the third factor was other people's opinions about me. People in the comments talking trash, family members making comments like, oh my god, you're using profanity, or ooh yeah, she be cussing in her video, or people like reporting back to my dad or reporting back to my mom, like people that know them that watch my videos, people just being weirdos, people aside from them that like don't know me, strangers watching me, always having something to say, always critiquing me trying to take into account what people are saying, and it really getting to me because I'm one of those people like, You know how everybody wants to go around and say, I don't give a F, I don't give a F. Well, guess what? Kathryn does give a F. I do care. What people say hurts my feelings. It gets under my skin. I am easily offended. I get defensive. It's just how I'm wired. I have tried to work on it, and I have now accepted that that is who I am. But what I will not do is I will not let it affect what moves I make. So if somebody comes into my comments and says to me, oh my God, you're so annoying, stop talking like that. And so normally it would make me not want to post, because I'm like, damn, like I can't even talk how I talk. But now I take the jabs, I take the comments, I take them on the chin, and I just keep pressing forward. Because I'm like, your comments and how you feel about me and you being miserable with your life, so you're going to come and be miserable on my platform, like, no, I'm not going to let that affect me in the moves that I make. Like, obviously, like I said, I do care what people say. It is important to me how I am perceived by people. I took a personality test one time, and it was so crazy. It was so spot on. It was like, you care about your appearance. You care about what people have to think about you and say about you. You walk into the room, instead of like thinking about people in the room, you're thinking about how your appearance to those people. And like, that's so true about me. And while I'm that way, and while it's something that's just kind of like hardwired into who I am, I have found that it has hindered me in like so many ways. And so I can be that way. I can be sensitive to people and what they have to say. I can be aware of how I'm perceived and aware of what people say about me, whether it's positive or negative. But I cannot let it affect the moves that I make. I can be sad about it, I can be emotional about it, but as far as my actions behind it, I can't let it shake me. Because I have, and now I feel like it's cost me like opportunities. Like, I've had amazing brand deals. I have been flued out by companies to do like campaign shoots and stuff, but it's not enough, and I want more, and I don't have more because I have kind of like made myself small and dimmed myself down and really pulled back from social media because of course, like I said, being tired and sometimes being lazy and just not wanting to do it, but mainly because of people coming for me and really like messing with my confidence, you know, and just like coming for my neck, and it really affected me. But I am no longer like letting stuff like that affect me. Like, it affects me emotionally and mentally and internally, but once again, I cannot let that like be perpetuated into my actions and what I do and what I achieve in life. Because whether I'm successful or not successful, those miserable people are still gonna be miserable people at the end of the day. So it's like, I can either be successful and they're miserable, or I can be not successful and they're still miserable. So if they want to spew hate and be mad, that's fine, but I'm gonna live my best life while they're doing it, period. So that is pretty much today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little chit chat, girl chat talk with me. I know you guys wanted like more tea about the proposal, about the house and all that stuff. I honestly don't want to talk about it right now. It's just so much that's going on with me and so much that's been happening. It's kind of hard to talk all about it in one video and not get too fixated on one topic, because you know we were here for a foundation review. So all in all, this foundation is beautiful. Definitely gives you that beautiful filtered look, and I like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little chit chat, girl chat, cat chat, whatever I decide to title this video, mixed in with the foundation review. My camera definitely cut off when I was talking, but I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if I haven't already thanked y'all enough, thank you so much. It means so much to me. But yeah, so I hope that I can repay you guys with, like I said, my new upload schedule. So we're here today on another Sunday, and of course I will see you guys next week, next Sunday around the same time, with another video. So that's pretty much it. I'm about to get going. I never know how to end videos, so bye y'all.